Hi friends, welcome to Lynn's channel. Today is Independence Day. I'd like to celebrate Independence Day with you all. I'd like to share with you how I come to the United States and why I would like to advocate for Taiwan. I fled from China to the United States in 1998. As a former communist member, I was not sure what kind of a life, what kind of a challenge I would face, whether I could accomplish my American dream. I didn't know anything about that, and I didn't have a plan. However, I know there must be a purpose God brought me to the United States. Otherwise, I won't get the visa to come to the United States. At that moment, all my friends, my family members told me, "You're not going to get a visa to the United States. You are single, not married, and you speak English. How could the officer will grant you a visa?" However, that was a miracle. The officer granted me a visa and I flew to the United States. And this is the promised land God has offered to me. And I enjoy it so much in this free land. I'd like to give my thanks to this country as the first generation of immigrants, as well as American citizen. I'm thankful for the opportunity this country granted for me. I'm thankful for the freedom I have to go to church, to have fellowship freely. I'm grateful that I could vote as an American citizen, which is I never can imagine in China. I became a communist member when I was in college. At that moment, I knew I must join the party in order to get promotion in China's legal system. Since I grew up, I saw my sisters and my brother-in-law, how they join the party and they get higher position and they got benefit from the party. I will be one of them, and I would like to join the party to become an official member. I have a fresh memory for the first meeting I attended in the court, which I was assigned to work after graduate. I became an official party member in that meeting, and I was very proud of myself, and I told all my family members, I'm the youngest one to become a party member in my family. And my family was very proud of me. And also I felt I had a bright future in court system because I was the only one being an official party member among all the graduate students. However, the Tiananmen massacre happened on June 4th, 1989. That time I began to work in the court already, and I witnessed the army sent from my city to Tiananmen Square to carry out the military action on June 3rd, 1989. I was shocked. My party ordered army to kill so many students. I feel they are innocent. They are just students without any weapons or bombs in hands. Why government need to use army to crack down those students? There are so many ways to push the students back to campus or to leave Tiananmen Square. Anyway, I don't think need military action to kill so many students and civilians. When the army came back from Tiananmen Square, and we were ordered to celebrate and welcome those heroes back from Beijing. And so many people line up miles and miles to celebrate and dancing and singing to lift up those soldiers. Since that moment, my faith to the party was collapsed. I couldn't imagine how a people's army killed so many students and civilians. Is this the party I decided to join? Is this the party I followed so many years? My faith was shaken. I began to listen to BBC and also the Voice of America. I would like to know more truth about this massacre. In 1990s, the government has an official policy. All the students graduate from college. It doesn't matter you work in government system or you work in factories. You graduated before 1989, need to go to the countryside to work for 1 year. So I was sent to the local court for 1 year. So I was not sure whether I could go back to city, whether I could hold my city residence card. Sunday, I began to come back to the city to go to a small government church. At that time, I began to read the Bible, listen to the sermon, and trying to understand why God allowed this happen. Is there a God? If there is a God, why God allowed this kind of thing happen? Of course, I was very nervous, I was scared, and I didn't want to meet anyone from this church. I always went to the church after they began to singing worship songs. I always sit on the last row next to the door. Before they close the meeting, I run away to the street. I didn't want to meet anyone. I didn't want anyone to know that I was working at court. I know exactly, as a party member, I cannot have any religion. If my coworker reported me to the party, I know I will be in trouble. So in 1994, I was baptized in the International Fellowship in Beijing. The pastor baptized me was a Canadian pastor. So after that, I realized the Communist Party has own religion. Their religion is so-called communism. But to me, I believe in God, and they don't believe in God. I know this is controversial, so I took courage. So I told the party secretary I became a Christian, and I cannot continue to be a member according to the party's policy. However, as a punishment, they kicked me out of the court. The consequences I paid was, after I was dismissed by the court, I was not able to work in general attorney. Even I could not work as an attorney as well. Since the court has documented everything in my file, they cut off my career path, and they don't care about how I'm going to survive in this country. I personally experienced how crucial this party was. Today, I'm very thankful that God brought me to the United States, to this free land. Over here, I could go to church freely, and I could speak out my mind freely, and also I could advocate for China's house church freely. So as you can see, China hurt the world through pandemic. Now, President Xi announced he's going to attack Taiwan with military action. So that will be the second plan to hurt the world, to damage the world, to destroy the world. China is a threat to the United States. My husband is Taiwanese, and my daughter, she's born here, but she also got Taiwanese passport when she was 17 years old. Now I feel it's time for me to advocate for Taiwan. To me, Taiwan is an independent country, and China cannot occupy Taiwan by military force. And so many Christians in China, so many Falun Gong members or Uyghurs, they've been suffered in China. How can that happen to Taiwanese? So therefore, I decided to stand up to advocate for Taiwan. And the purpose I opened this channel in English is trying to let you know why Taiwan is an independent country, why President Xi wants to carry out his plan to occupy Taiwan by military force. And number three, why United States need to stand up to protect Taiwan. This is Independence Day, and we celebrate together. Our freedom is paid by a great price. And the same thing, we want our children, our younger generation, to continue to enjoy this freedom. Therefore, we have to fight hard for the peace of the world. And we need to fight hard to prevent socialism and communism to influence our younger generation. Thank you so much for your support to my channel. I'll see you next time.
Oh, say,